This is it, Rhythm and Rhyme Recording Studio. We rock them every time to the drop of the dime. We're rocking it like this here. Alright, so we're going to go over some stuff that we need before we even begin the project. And one of the things that we're going to need is a Phillips screwdriver, pliers to just pull the bolts off, a good multimeter cables. When you touch the multimeter in ohms, right, that's a proper reading, 0.2 ohms. The next thing we're going to need, we're going to replace is the volume knob, which is a 10 kilo ohms. All right. There's 4 legs. The last leg is a dummy leg to hold onto the PC board. The first and the third leg is just basically gives you how much ohms the whole thing should be. And then the middle leg is just the rotary part of it. The encoder knob is, I'm going to give you where you can find one of these at if you need to replace it. A good box where you can be organized. Another good idea is taking photos with your cell phone of the units as you work. I've seen something today from Benjamin Franklin. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So every project you work on, make sure you have a plan and organize yourself how you're going to go about doing it. Don't just jump into it and then in the middle of it, you're like, what the hell's going on? I'm totally lost. All right? We're going to go over all the screws. What I did, these screws has to be removed, and this one, screws here at the bottom that we have to remove. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. There's other screws that's in the unit, like these screws on top here. They're holding down the keyboard, so you don't have to remove them. This plate is where the sound card is. Once those screws are off, the keyboard opens somewhat like a car hood. It just lifts up, and you can just put it down, and voila, and here's all your connectors, and the key bed is here, you have to mess with. This plate here has to come off, because that's what's holding these screws here. After turning the unit on, there was no sound. So I checked for volume, and then I checked to see if the local control, MIDI local control, was on or off. I checked to see if the keyboard was transmitting MIDI in or out. I noticed that it was transmitting MIDI, so okay, so that means the keyboard is good. But certain keys was not responding, which was the C and the F sharp. Took the sound card, and it's the RAM sound card, and I put it in the XL7 commanded to see if the sound card was any good, since I was getting no sound. But what I noticed was that the encoder knob was bad and the volume knob was bad. And after taking them out, I ran the voltmeter to see if I was getting the correct ohms, which was 10 kilo ohms for the voltmeter, and I wasn't getting that. So then I realized the knob was bad, so I replaced it. A couple of keys that wasn't responding, it was like a pattern. So what I did, I said, let me resolder the keyboard connecting cable, the connectors where the cables are plugged in, and then that solved the problem with the keyboard, that certain keys wasn't responding. And all I have to do now is just put the keyboard back together. All right, what we're going to do now, after we finish fixing the keyboard, right before we close it, the keyboard got a lot of scratches on it. We're going to pimp up the keyboard. We're going to add vinyl stretch fabric they use on cars to see if we can get to make it look good on a keyboard. And we're going to see if we can make it look a little better with the vinyl fabric over it. It's like a skin. All right, something we're just playing around with. Check it out. So after finished doing this, I see that it don't look bad. You know, it gives it a little modern type of look to the keyboard. You know, the fabric itself was like keyboards. We're going to put back on the knobs, and you're going to need a T8 socket. So the first one we're going to put back on is this one. Alright. It's a little warp there, but hey, we'll kind of... What's nice about these knobs is that these knobs are switching. So go on. It's not the wrong height. It's 20. But it's okay. Alright. And that's how you put on back the knobs. The knobs are good to go. And that's the keyboard.
I was blind, but now I see. God be praised. God be praised.